Relax, the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join your host, Ron, as we talk all things Philadelphia Flyers and Lehigh Valley Panther. Relax, the press box is closed. Jeez, man, really? Relax, the press box. Relax, the press box is closed, but the mic is just getting warmed up. Welcome to the Hockey Writers Inc. Join your host, Ron, as we talk all things Philadelphia Flyers and Lehigh Valley Panther. Relax, the press. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Hockey Writers Inc. with your host, Ron Mont. Hey, folks, how you doing out there? Thank you very much for tuning in and checking us out. We're trying to do a live. We're hoping it works. Fingers crossed. This is like the 25th time now we're trying to do this. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we got episode number 205. And the Flyer season is just about to, I'm sorry, 206. That's right, episode number 206. The season is just about ready to start here for the Flyers. And man, I'll tell you what, I'm really excited to see this. We're not too far away from puck drop here, so almost real soon, kind of sort of go, yeah, okay. Some good news there, as you can see on the screen, hopefully. There was a trade made where the Ryan Ellis contract has been traded. Okay, and a 2026 sixth-round draft pick for a forward and a defenseman from the San Jose Sharks. And okay, I mean, we cleared $7.5 million of cap space off the books for doing the Ryan Ellis thing. So, all right, I'll take that all day long. Good move. And we got some prospects, so cool. You know, can't go wrong with that, right? Um, Danny Briere did kind of a impromptu presser the other day talking about the team and getting ready for things and stuff, talking about Jet Lachenko and how he's not necessarily guaranteed a spot, but he is probably going to make the opening night roster. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play every single night and everything else like that. It was kind of cryptic, but kind of very telling because if you think about it, that just means that he still needs to work on some things, and he very well still may get sent down to the OHL. If he's up here for 9 games, then they can still send him back, whatever. So there's going to be a decision that needs to be made about him. And then there's also the bad news too about Cam York dealing with a lower body injury and potentially not being available for the opening night against the Panthers down there in Florida. So that doesn't bode well very much for the Flyers. But what does bode well is the fact that the Panthers are missing Kachuk, and they're also missing Barkov too. So I mean, they still got Bob. They still got they're still the Stanley Cup champs from last year, so they're it's going to be a tough game for the Flyers, and I'm anticipating a good showing. I'm also liking the way Rick Tocchet has been kind of doing things. He's kind of mixed up the lines a lot lately, just to kind of see what he's got. I think the first 10 games or so, you're going to see a lot of loosey goosey just to see who's going to gel together, who's going to work well together. The 7 preseason games, you didn't really see a lot of the same guys on the same line over and over. You saw a lot of, him mixing it up. So I'm thinking that maybe he's going to try to put some lines together and try to keep them together, see how they work, see how things go. I will say one thing, though, too, about the preseason, and that's, oh my gosh, we're still actually rolling. That the uh, the preseason showed a better power play. Better. Okay, we'll take better. Um, but you look, the Flyers have been in the basement for the last 3-4 years now, as far as the power play. And if they want to even consider themselves any kind of anything, you need to be in at least the 20s rankings in the league. Between 20 and 29, you need to be in the higher 20, the upper 20s instead of the lower. You know what I mean? If you're around 20th ranked, then you're doing a lot better. Okay, that's that's 12 places higher than what you were last year. 10 places higher. 6 places higher would get you a game or two. Look, all you have to do is do the math, right? Flyers need to have better defense. They need to have better power play. And oh my gosh, we need to have some better goaltending. Vladar looked really good in the last game there against New Jersey. That gives me hope that the Flyers are going to have a pretty decent tandem in Harrison and Vladar. I mean, it's a wait and see. It's all a wait and see. By the way, shout out to Big Russ Cohen for not being able to be here tonight, not feeling well. So big shout out to Russ. Hope you're feeling well, buddy. Um, and we'll catch you on the next round. But that's the thing that I'm worried about the most is the goaltending. If that tandem is going to be okay, and then I'm really worried about the defense. I was a little bit suspect about the offense at the beginning of preseason because they couldn't even score more than a couple of goals, and we're letting in a lot of goals. So preseason take with a grain of salt, but when you get towards the end of the preseason, those last couple of games are more closer to what you're going to be doing and who you're going to be playing and things like that. So, all right, thanks for that one viewer. Appreciate it. Thanks for hopping on and watching us. I'm sorry, man. Every time I try to do a live, I run into all these technical issues where my camera didn't work, and then I couldn't get this thing to work, or I couldn't get that thing to work. So, all right, we're trying to keep it rolling here anyway. So, but Flyers got a good thing going here as far as they did it. They did okay in the preseason. They're trying to put together a team, but look, folks, I'm going to be honest with you here. This is going to be a long year, okay? And I'm really watching out for these guys right here, Lehigh Valley, because I think that team needs to be really good right now this year, okay? And with them sending, the likes of the Helgi Grans and the Emil Andres down, they've they've done so in the preseason, not so good, but they're getting their feet under them, I think, and they're kind of learning things with John Snowden down there. I think that's going to be really nice with him being down there at in Lehigh because he's going to be running the same system that they are running with the Flyers. And uh, even though I think we're going to see Obels will probably make the roster. He might be one of those guys that might transition or go back and forth. I mean, there's potentially a couple of guys that will be that first um, call ups, like the Jennings or you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So we'll have to see how that all goes. But I'm really liking what they're trying to do down there in Lehigh with John Snowden and them all running the same system. It's unfortunate that we're not going to be able to see Jet Luchenko down there. Um, if he doesn't play with the Flyers, he's going to have to go to the OHL because that rule doesn't kick in until next year. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, and honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing for Luchenko. I really don't. I really don't think that's a bad thing for him down there because let me see you dominate. Let me see you be in every single important situation. Let me see you be that leader that we think you are. Let me see that character that they think that you have. Let me see that. Okay? And be that person, be that dominant player for your team. Then that helps to justify the fact that we picked you where we did. Does that make sense? Right? Okay. Um, but like I said, I'm really liking what Lehigh's doing here. We're going to try to get to a couple of those games this year for sure to check those guys out. I'm also really excited about a Prospect Watch alum that's on the roster, Yanif Peretz, goaltender. Watch out for him because I think he's a good goaltender. And we got him in a trade with Carolina. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I've been watching this kid now for quite a long time, and I think he's a heck of a goaltender if you give him a chance. He's got good positioning. He's a hybrid goaltender, and he's got good size and good speed and quickness. So I mean, he's won everywhere he's been. Like I said, we interviewed him on Prospect Watch a couple years ago. I really like him, and I'm very interested to see if he can get some games down there with Kozlov and Bjarnson down there with the Phantoms. I'm going to be interested to see if he can get a couple games. If not, we'll see. Hey, just mentioning it out there, just throwing it out there. But go Pretzel! Right. By the way, that's his nickname. So, all right. We're gonna try to wrap this up here since we only got one of you out there watching, and we really appreciate it. And hey, we actually got it out. So it was a little bit off, but hey, is what it is. So thank you all very much for tuning in and checking us out. Please hop on over to lowercaseblues.net. They provided the opening music. Check out lowercaseblues.net. Also, all you have to do is Google Russ Cohen, and you can find all the great stuff that he's done. And he'll be on next week He was just under the weather today, so. And I tried to do a live. See what happens when you try to do a live. Anyway, thank you all very much for checking us out, man. You can catch all the great stuff at rnjmediasports.com. Be sure to check out the new website coming out here real soon, here in the next couple days. So be sure to be looking for that. Thank you all for joining us. We'll catch you all in the next episode.